This is Look West, a podcast from California's Assembly Democrats.
Hi, I'm Talitha DeMessa, and you're listening to Look West. All year long, we've been sharing the immigration stories of our Assembly Democrats, stories that remind us how diverse California really is. Each journey is different, but they all speak to a shared truth. No matter where we came from, we're all Californians. In this episode, Assemblymember Jessica Caloza sits down with DCO producer Henry Lowe to talk about her own immigration story, how her Los Angeles district is responding to recent federal anti-immigration actions, and what inspired her to co-author the Birthright Citizenship Resolution, HAR 5.
Tell us about your family's immigration story.
My family immigrated here from the Philippines when I was a young girl. I was 4 years old. We moved from Quezon City, Philippines, a young family of 6 kids and 2 parents, and moved halfway around the world to Eagle Rock, California, here in Los Angeles. And we grew up from very humble beginnings. We didn't have very much growing up, and it turns out when you move to the United States, when you move to America, you still don't have very much if you came here without much. But the difference is that here you have a real shot to actually make it into the middle class. And that's what my parents wanted, was they just wanted an opportunity to be able to raise their children and their family in a good neighborhood with good schools, in a place where we would feel welcomed. And that was right here in Los Angeles. My parents had to start over when we moved here. And so we're both working class, still are working class. My mom was a cashier at a gas station at the 99-cent store, worked her way up, put herself through school, and retired as a mother-baby nurse. And my dad was a service worker and then retired as a healthcare worker as an orderly. And so both of my parents have been in healthcare their entire life. And I look at their story and I'm really amazed at what they've been able to do with me and my siblings, because we went from their story, moving here, not speaking a word of English, to my story. Being able to benefit from our public school system, being the first in my family to go to college, proud Triton from UC San Diego, and now get to make history with the entire community and with the support of my district, and proud to be the first Filipina American to serve in the California State Legislature.
Thank you so much for sharing your own personal story and your family story. Could you also like to share with us your work in public service to the community?
I am so passionate about public service because for me, public service is why I'm here today. I've had so many people, many of whom I don't know, sacrifice their careers to really put forth incredible public programs and good public policies that I and my family have benefited from my entire career. When I was in college, I went to UC San Diego. I ended up getting really sick. I ended up working too many part-time jobs to pay for my unpaid internships while I was double majoring. I was also in student government. I was running a student publication, and I just had so many things going on that I got so burnt out that I got really sick. And I'm only here today for 2 reasons. One, because of my mom. She found me on my birthday and rushed me to the emergency room and saved my life. And 2, because of the Affordable Care Act. Had it not been for President Obama and his leadership and advocacy, the ACA, also known as Obamacare, would not have passed earlier that year. And a key part of Obamacare was making sure that our students stay insured on their parents' plan until after they graduated college. And because of this freak accident or this miracle, however you want to look at it, that happened to me on my birthday, I actually would not have been insured if it were not for the ACA. And so this was such a formative and transformational experience for me that only continued to demonstrate why this work really matters. Sometimes it's life or death, and most of the times, it's about putting food on the table and making sure that we're able to feed our families. And that's why government is important, and that's why government, when it works, can be absolutely transformational. And that was a big source of my inspiration, my family, and really good public policy about why I decided to be on this career path, because I wanted to give back and do everything in my power to be part of the solution to make government work just a little bit better than it did before I got there. And that's what drives my work, and why I care so much about responding to the needs of my community and my district, because there's so many people who are too burnt out, too tired, too sick to really advocate or to know what to advocate for when it comes to policy and legislation. And throughout my career, I've had an incredible opportunity to serve at the federal level. Got to tell President Obama the story directly and actually thank him. I got to work under his administration at the U.S. Department of Education, working on education policy, community college policy. From there, I went to work in local government for about a decade, worked in the LA Mayor's office, in the Office of Immigrant Affairs, and then was appointed as a Public Works Commissioner and worked on infrastructure projects. And most recently was at the state level working for our Attorney General, Rob Bonta, as his Deputy Chief of Staff. And now I'm so excited that I'm here in the state assembly, taking all the things I learned at the different levels of government, and most importantly, what I've learned from the community, to put their stories, their voices into practice by advocating for them in committee, through the different bills that we hear and through the incredible work that we get to be a part of. And so I feel very blessed to serve, and I'm just excited for our year ahead, because I know that a lot of people are counting on us, and I know that we're going to deliver and not let them down.
Great. If I may ask a follow-up question, and thank you for sharing so much about your own professional career in public service. With so many attacks, especially from the federal government, in which the narrative is that government is the problem and that government is somehow not the solution, yet you've painted a picture and a story of how your own experience as a public servant, but also what we do in California in government is so important, so pivotal. Again, do you think that California can, again, offer a model of what it means where governors can work for its people, its constituents?
Absolutely. I mean, government is made up of people, and, people within our departments and our agencies care a lot. I talk to government staff, government employees every single day, whether it's at the state level or at the local level, at the county, at the federal side. And you find, and I find, hearing their stories, that it's so common that their North Star is the same, and that's to really do good, to pay it forward, to serve the community. And the more we share stories of our public servants, I think the more inspired and empowered the community will feel, because there's a lot of really good people trying to do the right thing to provide more resources. And especially right now, there are employees within the federal government that, have to go to work every day to continue to serve, even under the threat of our own administration. And I know what it feels like to have gone through something as traumatic as a government shutdown, because I was there during a government shutdown during my time in the Obama administration. And it's really scary because you are expected to deliver and you still don't know whether or not you're going to get a paycheck to put food on the table. And so that's really scary, but I know that people continue to show up because a lot of people are relying on them.
Thank you for sharing. You all co-authored AJR 5. Tell us what it is and why you think it's important.
AJR 5 is so important. It is a resolution that affirms birthright citizenship, and it's something that is foundational to the United States and the founding of this country. We know that being a large economy, being a global leader, has so much to do with the founding of this country, and so much of that has to do with everyone's immigration story. Whether you are Filipino American or Chinese American or Mexican American, if you come to this country and you work hard and you start a family here, you are and can be American. And for me, that was really important to affirm through this resolution, because we know that immigrants are under attack. Even though it's my first year in office, it has been an incredibly challenging year, not just as a public servant in state office, but I really feel for all the immigrant communities and families like my own who are fearful of going outside, who are fearful of going to the grocery store, and who are scared to be out in our own community because of the relentless attacks of this federal administration. And being a public servant, being in elected office, means that we have to stand up and speak out for things that not only are foundational to this country, but because it's what's right. And so that's what AGR is about. AGR 5, it's to reaffirm that immigrants are welcome here, that immigrants are our neighbors, they are our family members, they are our small business owners, our entrepreneurs, our teachers, our nurses, and they give to this country just so much and sacrifice so much. And so I'm proud to support it, and proud to support also all the incredible things that our Democratic caucus, Speaker Rivas, and so many people in the Assembly that I'm proud to work with have championed this past year, including the immigration packages that affirms whether or not I should be out of our schools, whether or not our law enforcement and the immigration enforcement should be identifying themselves before taking action. And that's why I'm proud of this work, because I know that we are standing on the right side of history. And when we look back on this moment, I know I'll look back on this proudly and know that we're continuing to fight not just for families like mine, but everyone's families here in California.
Right. And thank you so much, Assemblymember, for your leadership and that of your colleagues to protect the dignity of our communities here in California. You did touch upon the unfortunate attacks by the federal government towards immigrant communities. So what are some of the efforts that your office has been doing to assist those communities in your own district?
My team has been so incredible at responding to the needs of our community. And even though it's our first year in office, it has been both a literal and a metaphorical trial by fire. There has been so many crises this year, from the Eaton and the Palisades fires to the local and state budget deficits, to the federal budget cuts, to now, of course, the increased enforcement by the federal government terrorizing our communities. And for me as a proud immigrant and somebody who is proud to represent immigrant communities, we really wanted to make sure that we were extremely visible, first and foremost, to share with our neighbors that this is our community and we are here to stay and to fight for every single family in our district and in California. And two, it was really important to take action and take action in a number of ways. Under, the speaker's leadership, we were able to put, $50 million towards early action this year, $25 million going to the litigation fund for the California Department of Justice. So the Attorney General fought against a lot of the lawless actions from this administration. And then $25 million also went to legal aid organizations and nonprofits providing really critical Know Your Rights resources. And those are things that my office has been really so proud to partner with so many of our community organizations on. We have been extremely active in hosting Know Your Rights events and workshops, making sure that they are in language, in particular in Spanish and other languages that are spoken here in my district and across Los Angeles, because we really want to empower people and families to know their rights. And I know that it's such a scary time right now where it feels like we are just, facing so much from this administration, but we are strong, and at the local level, at the state level, and with many of our members of Congress who are on the right side of history, we have been fighting tirelessly to make sure that our communities know what their rights are, and that if they need help, that help is here. And the state has taken that early action to make sure that our organizations are funded. And so I'm really proud of that work.
And given this incredible action and efforts by California to protect the immigrant communities, is California a leader when it comes to supporting immigrants? And what lessons can California teach the rest of America?
California is absolutely a leader when it comes to fighting for our immigrant communities, our working class communities, and really everyday people. Governor Newsom has done an incredible job of taking this fight to the White House and making sure that California speaks up and speaks out about what's happening. And you have seen how the state assembly, the speaker, our caucus chair, and in particular, so many of the members from Los Angeles really be in that fight as well, because that's what we are. We're a team, and that's what we need and able to fight for all of our communities, is to be able to stand strong together, because there are so many things happening at the same time. There's 5 crises on any single day, and that's been challenging, but I know that we're going to get through this, and there's a lot of things that our communities can do to really empower themselves, because there's information and resources available. And that's all in part due to leaders in elected office that are responding to the needs of community. And so I hope that other states follow suit, that they continue to fight for their immigrant communities, because without our immigrant communities, we would not have the economy that we have. We would not have the cities and the counties that we have. And it's absolutely critical, especially when we look at what's ahead, like the World Cup and the Olympics and all these really big milestones that not just California is celebrating, but really America is celebrating together. How can we unify during this time and ensure that if they come for one community, that we all stand strong together?
Our thanks to Assemblymember Caloza and DCO producer Henry Lowe. I'm Talitha DeMessa with Look West. Thank you for tuning in.
The Look West podcast is produced by the DCO Pod Squad for the California Assembly Democrats. Please like, subscribe, and share this episode. When you think of Californian politics, remember to look west.